what the black man and woman needs to know about the nation, about the world, about themselves. Muhammad Speaks It. To order your 12-issue subscription to Muhammad Speaks newspaper, 313-371-7033. 313-371-7033. Kareem Bean Pie is the grand champion of all bean pies. The rich flavor and smooth texture takes this pie to a whole new level of delicious. One bite and you'll understand why people all over the country call daily to order Kareem Bean Pie. 313-371-7033. That's 313-371-7033. Kareem Bean Pie.
This bean pie is delicious.
Muhammad Speaks presents Messenger Elijah Muhammad's Teachings by Minister Khalil Shabazz every Sunday from 2 to 3 p.m. at Muhammad's Temple of Islam, 12609 East McNichols Road in Detroit.
Brothers and sisters, we rise for prayer. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. All praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the Beneficent, the Merciful, Soul Master's day, gentlemen, in which we now live. The alone do we serve, and the alone beseech for thine help and aid. O Allah, please guide us on the right path of those upon whom thou bestow thy favors, not on the path of those upon whom thy wrath is brought down, nor those who go astray after they heard thy teachings. Say he, Allah is one God. Allah is he of whom nothing is independent, but upon whom we all depend. He begetteth not, nor is he begotten, there is none like him. And I bear witness that none is to be served, worship, or praised besides Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. And I bear witness that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, thy true servant and last apostle. Ameen. We'd like to acknowledge the brothers and sisters that extended us the greetings of Assalamu alaikum. We have Brother Jeffrey Shabazz from North Carolina. We have Brother Samori Samad from New York. We have Minister Yusuf Hakeem from Oklahoma. We have Brother Mustafa and Sister Sharice Ali from Ohio. And we have Captain Hakeem and the believers from Richmond. I'd like to say in the name of Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, and in the name of his last and greatest messenger, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, I'd like to greet the brothers and sisters with the Nation of Islam's greeting words of peace of Assalamu alaikum. Today we'd like to talk about why beards are uncivilized. Now, what made me to initially make this video is I was listening to Bus Stop, and they teach now that shaving is a feminine trait. He said that it's like we feminine, pretty much saying we women. So what I did is I went to TikTok and I made this video called IUIC Uncivilized Savage. So I went to as many IUIC pages that I could post it. I made a YouTube video. I put it on Facebook. And Facebook, I got 2.9 thousand views in like a few days. This is like the most views I ever got. So I want to read what a Muslim said to me about the video. He says, Assalamu alaikum. And this is on our Facebook Muhammad's Temple page. He says, Assalamu alaikum. It's just that this is the type of banging, once again, they compare what I do to gang members. You know, I'm gang banging on IUIC. He says, it's just that this is the type of banging I would expect from those in the conscious community who are not NOI members. He says, I know you coming out of the teachings, and I know what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught on beards. So the brother telling me, I know what you saying is right. I know you coming out of the teachings when you coming at them, but they label me as banging. But I know know you coming out of the teachings. I know what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught about beards. He said, but focusing on this part of y'all's conflict, not a part of the conflict that they have with Muslims, but it's my conflict with them. He said, but focusing on this part of y'all's conflict can alienate some good brothers in the community who love the minister and the nation, who have beards, because this can be interpreted as saying that brothers who choose to rock the beard are uncivilized savages. He says, and in truth, the Israelite brothers are just following the Bible the way they see it, as it is. So this, once again, he bearing witness to the fact that what the messenger taught is different from them. Yes. Because he's saying, and in truth, the Israelite brothers are just following the Bible the way they see it, as it is. We don't believe it as it is. That's right. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us. But let's finish the letter, or his response. He says the Bible does, in fact, say don't cut your beard. He said, now the FOI, we've had our way for a reason, to be and look clean. And it is easier to clean your face without a beard. He said, if we really want to be civilized about it, contact the brother like a brother and have a discourse and debate, or find some common ground. We stronger together than we are apart. Now, I was so happy that he put this public. Because most of the time they call and say this. But this time, this brother actually posted it on the website. And I just want the brothers, the young brothers, who want to fight for the messenger. You got to do it because you know it's right. Yes. You can't do it for your wife. You can't do it for your husband. You can't do it for your friend. You got to do it because you know it's right. So we always want to start with the messenger. Because I always want to justify what I do. Because I called IUIC uncivilized savages. Not only did I call them that, but I went to IUIC Detroit, I went to Nashville, Chicago, everywhere that I could post this, I posted. So it says that it's 90 shares. Because from this particular video, I can go and look at all the people who shared it and what they said and what the people who commented shared. Most of the people who shared it was Israelites. It wasn't just IUI, it was all kind of Israelites dogging me out. But the Muslim says not a word. So let's go to the messenger. Because the brothers say I was banking. Let's go to the messenger. September 12th, 1969, Muhammad speaks. And this article is called Shun the Afro. This was written by Sister Kathleen X. In her article, because we don't have time to read it all. But in her article, she says, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is the only one among us who is qualified to condemn that which is not right. Taught by Allah God in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is here to proclaim that which is righteous and to condemn that which is not right. She says, I can attest to the fact that the wearing of bushy hair is uncivilized. This This was Sister Kathleen X. Yes, sir. Now, Sister Kathleen X article was mentioned in the January 11th, 1970 Atlanta Voice. Because the newspapers back in the day was like the internet. If you wanted to know what the Muslims was talking about, you went to the Muhammad Speaks newspaper. Right. And the Muhammad Speaks newspaper was the #1 black newspaper in the country. Praise due to Allah. So Atlanta Voice read Sister Kathleen X's article. So they talked about it in the January 11th, 1970 Atlanta Voice. It says Muslims deplore. It says Elijah Muhammad's black Muslims who are credited with substituting the word black for Negro, brother and sister, disapproves of the Afro and natural style of American blacks. This was the message. Now they call it gangbang. But when the messenger was on the scene, black people understood for what? It says Elijah Muhammad's black Muslims who are credited with substituting the word black for Negro and brother and sister. The messenger was credited for that. So the messenger was doing a lot of gangbang on the black man. Because the black man used to call himself a Negro. So the messenger, as this brother say, started gangbang on the black man. He started condemning Negro. He started teaching the black man his true self. That you black. That instead of calling yourself Negro, call yourself black. Instead of calling your brother a nigger, call him a brother. Call your sister a sister. The messenger did that by gangbang. Then it goes on to say, and disapprove of the Afro and natural styles of American blacks. It says Sister Kathleen X, writing in Muhammad Speaks, condemns the wearing of dashikis and African-derived wearing apparel, as well as the natural hairstyle. So he quotes what she said. She says, I can attest to the fact that the wearing of bushy hair is uncivilized, writes the Muslim sister. So he goes on to say about Sister Kathleen X. It says Sister Kathleen X continues that the black man in North America is adopting the hairstyle and dress of the Bushman, who we are taught is the one who would not conform to civilization and is living a savage life. Gang banging. So what's different from me telling Busta Bishop you are uncivilized savage? Yeah. Not only just say it over the, I want him to know. You are, since he ain't got no problem. Because when I first heard that, my immediate thought is the messenger shade. The messenger taught us to shade. So I'm like, what you saying? If you saying, you talking about the message. That's how I took it. Because Busta Bishop has done everything disrespectful to Muslims other than spitting in our face. He already be telling people that the messenger worshiped the moon. He criticized the Quran and called it toilet paper. He got Master Farad Muhammad on their permanent boards that every IUIC group have out in the public with the black man. He say we ain't black. He say we ain't Asiatic. Now he talking about to shave is a feminine characteristic. So let's go on with Sister Kathleen. She says, Sister Kathleen concludes, by advocating black people assume the uniform dress of the Muslim. Brothers in blue, sister bedecked in white. A national uniform which identifies a clean, civilized, and righteous people. So that was the message. He always was gang banging on the black man. Because what we need to understand about these uncivilized savage beards, no good bus stop. He talking about beards is masculine. To wear a beard is man. Because he talked about a lion and his mane. A lion got a big mane, the female lion don't. So he said that in that same respect, that a man's beard is like his mane. It's a manly characteristic. Now let's go back to the black man. Before they start adopting the characteristics or the discarded culture of the Bushman. You got Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seale. Because before the black man started trying to be Afrocentric, black men did not wear beards. The black man pretty much was clean shaven. You see, now these brothers was militant, way more militant than Bus Stop. Bus Stop and them talking about beards is manly, but we ain't never seen no beard wearing brothers bust a grape. We ain't never seen no beard wearing brother having fights with the police. We ain't never seen these beard wearing brothers going to jail. We ain't never seen them do nothing. But oh, no good line Bus Stop. Beards is man. So we see Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seale of the Black Panther Party clean shaven. Next we can go to Dr. Martin Luther King and Stokely Carmichael. Clean shave. You can even see the brothers in the back. Brothers didn't wear these beards. Brothers pretty much was clean shaven. Then we can have another. Jesse Jackson and Martin Luther, clean shaven. Now why do brothers, or why is clean shaven so important? First, let's go to the military. Because Bus Stop Bishop said shaving is a feminine trait. We want to cover all the bases for old no good Bus Stop. So in the military, where you have Navy SEALs shave. They don't feel like shaving is some feminine trait. They the most hardcore and elite military force in the world. But they shave. They don't look like an uncivilized savage, like Bus Stop Bishop. The United States Marine Corps, another elite fighting unit, one of the most elite in the world. They don't think shaving is a feminine trait. They don't look like Bus Stop Bishop. Now, why do you shave in the Navy or in the military? It says beards and sideburns are banned in all military and police forces since the early 20th century. A clean-shaven face is considered part of the spirit of order, hygiene, and discipline. Praise due to Allah. So the reason why all military branches do not allow you to look like an uncivilized savage is because of hygiene, order, and discipline. That's why you shave. Because when I was in the military, They told us, how you gonna be an unneat soldier? You a sloppy soldier. You a soldier that's filthy. Because I know a lot of times brothers who probably married, you think because it's your wife's job to clean, you could just be a slob. You get done eating all, you got a pile of bones and you leave everything on, she'll clean it up. That ain't no soldier. You take your socks and your drawers off and just leave it all in the middle, she'll clean it up. No. How you a sloppy soldier? They told us every man supposed to clean up after himself. That's a soldier. You supposed to be clean and neat. Now, you might not take the dish and let your wife take the plate and put it in the dishwasher if that's what you do. But because she gotta clean, that don't mean you make extra filth. You don't clean up. If something fall on the floor, you pick it up. If you taking your socks and drawers off, put it in the dirty clothes hamper. How you a unneat savage soldier? That ain't how they teach us in the military. Because being clean, neat, and sharp, that's order, discipline, and hygiene. Yes, sir. So let's go on even further than that. Because we need to understand about the laws of Moses. Because the brothers who was the Israelites, when they talked about the reason why they looked like an uncivilized savage like bus stop, they started talking about in Leviticus, it say we ain't supposed to shave. Let's talk about the Bible. In the Bible, you got historic Moses and you got biblical Moses. Two different people. You got biblical Jesus and you got historic Jesus. Two completely different people. Because in the Bible, when you read about Jesus, you would think it was people there sitting there, oh, when Jesus went up on the thing, and when Jesus, I saw Jesus. But the historic Jesus, the real Jesus, he was so insignificant to a Jew that they didn't write nothing about him for 70 to 100 years. That's historic Jesus. He was a prophet, but he was an insignificant prophet to his people. He made no change over the Jew. The Jews rejected him and they killed him. They didn't care nothing about him. So nothing was written about him while he lived. So when the white man started writing about Jesus, they wrote him in story form. They didn't write no truth about Jesus. They wrote him like a story. Because the messenger taught us that Jesus, there's like 4 histories wrapped up in Jesus. 4 histories. You got the history of the Mahdi, or the history of the Messiah, which was to come. Not a Messiah that had already come, but they put Jesus' story like he was the Messiah. They put Jesus like he was the Christ. When Jesus was a regular, ordinary prophet, they saw nothing special about Jesus, so they wrote nothing about him. Then you got historic Moses and biblical Moses. Biblical Moses went to Egypt, quote unquote, and saved the children of Israel from Pharaoh. Now let's talk about the Egyptians for a minute when we talking about beards. Because you got the historic Egyptians and you got these biblical Egyptians. Let's talk about the historic Egyptians and the beard. This comes from museumbuddy.com. It says fuzzy facts about Egyptian beards. Fact number 1. Ancient Egyptians were scrupulous about cleanliness and would never go about unshaved. That's what we gotta realize when we listening to old no good bus stop bishop. The black man don't really grow beards like that. And if the black man did have facial hair, he was shaved. Because the black man is about cleanliness. Yes. It has absolutely nothing to do with manliness. Everybody from the military, the police, on down to thousands of years with the Egyptians. It's about cleanliness. Yes. It ain't got nothing to do with being man. So it says that the ancient Egyptians were scrupulous about cleanliness and would never go about unshaved. Fact number 2. It says nobody would grow a mustache or a beard in ancient Egypt because facial hair was considered unhygienic and unfashionable. This the black man. Want to wear no long. Look how dirty bus stop look. Yes. He looked like what would we look like as Muslims? To go from following the messenger. Then we go and say, we want to follow bus stop bishop. How dumb would we look? We would go from being clean shaven, shining, being 50 looking like you 20, to looking like the brother you used to sell papers to. I done sold papers to junkies that look like bus stop bishop. Yes, sir. So now I believe that bus stop bishop is a man of God. So now I'm going to go back looking like a junkie. Looking like the brother that say we'll work for food. Because my question in this video, I made the fact, when we become Muslims, we have a before and an after look. Yes. If them uncivilized savages, that's what bus stop. If they look like bus stop, what did they look like before they accepted being an Israelite? Right. What makes you different than the man in the mud? You still an uncivilized savage. You still walking out the house looking like you don't comb your hair. I wish I could have sent this to bus stop's house. I don't like bus stop. I be looking at that hypocrite Lewis. Because I'm friends on Facebook with some of these brothers that's friends or go to the temple with this brother Minister Troy. So they be showing how they FOI be all out in the community with their papers and the projects. I look at all them brothers they got. Couldn't be me. It would be a feud in Detroit with IUIC. If I was a minister in the Nation of Islam with the teachings of the message, because like the brothers say, I know you coming from the teachings. Right. I know what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said about beards. Just like I know what the messenger said about fighting. Yes. I know what he said. So if I'm a minister with all them brothers and they down to fight, it would be a feud. I remember the messenger. I was listening to him. This is in the Cavalier magazine. They asked the messenger about that fight them Muslims had with the Los Angeles Police Department. They said, well, what do you think about the fight that the brothers had with the police? Messenger said the brothers was fearless. They put on a hard, strong fight. But he said they shouldn't have stopped fighting until the devil killed them all. That's what I know what the messenger said about fight. If I was Minister Troy, that's what I'd be telling the FOI. That's what the messenger said. If we get into a brawl with IUIC, we ain't gonna stop until they stop. That's the I know what the messenger said. I bring it on. All the Muhammad Speaks newspapers, all them brothers that fought with police, all the brothers that went to jail. I know all that. That's why it couldn't be me. No minister with all them brothers. Because the messenger said, you never let our enemy take over the temple. You never let that happen. That's what we letting happen. Because Buster Bishop is an enemy. He's an enemy to Allah and his message.
Yes, sir.
That's what he is.
That's right.
He going over what the messenger taught. He going over it step by step. Messenger told us we was black. He say the so-called black man. Messenger told us the black man is God. He say the Israelite man is the God. The earth belongs to the Israelite man. Every single thing that the messenger taught, he teaching against. But this hypocrite Louis Eugene, he don't teach them brothers what the messenger taught about fight. Because even Sister Kathleen X had more heart than what you see in the FOI today. Kathleen X wrote an article telling the black man that it's uncivilized to walk around with bushy hair. She said the messenger said that the Bushman is the one who would not conform to civilization. That's what the messenger taught. He said those are the discarded culture and customs of the African. The African's way is uncivilized. So he taught us that God came. Because he taught us that before God destroys a people, he always sends a warner.
Yes.
He sends a warner to warn the people. To warn the people of the coming destruction. But let's get back to these laws of Moses. So the messenger taught us that the historical Moses went into the caves and hillsides of Europe to civilize the white race.
That's right.
Now let's prove that from the Bible. Because old no good bus stop, they telling the black man that the black man is an Israelite. And that these laws of Moses is laws that Moses gave to the black man. Now let's go to Leviticus. Because when these brothers was talking about beards, they was quoting Leviticus 19 and 27. It says, ye shall not round off the hair on your temples or mar the edges of your beard. They talked about a whole bunch of verses that they quoted. But let's go to the previous chapter. They quote chapter 19. Let's go to chapter 18. This is chapter 18, verse 22 through 23. It says, thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind. It is abomination. Now, bus stop Bishop still in the teachings of the messenger talking about the black man is God. This how the messenger say, you steal my teachings before you even understand what it means. How are you, on one hand, gonna say the black man is God? Then you gonna tell me that Moses had to tell God, the descendants of God, thou shalt not lie with mankind as womankind. How he God? The messenger said the black man is righteous by nature. These are the laws that Moses gave the white race.
That's right.
When they came out of the caves and hillsides of Europe.
That's right.
Let's go on even further. It says, neither shalt thou lie with any beast to defile thyself therewith. Neither shall any woman stand before a beast to lie down thereto. It is confused. So bust thy mission. Stealing the teachings of the messenger when you don't even believe it, nor do you understand. Messenger told us that the black man is a direct descendant of God himself.
That's right.
So that's where our history starts. Our history does not start with Jacob. The black man's history starts with God. That's why the messenger told us the black man is God.
Yes.
And the white man is the devil.
That's right.
Just like the black man has a nature to do righteous, the white man has a nature to do evil.
Yes, sir.
So Moses came. And Moses is the one who civilized the white race in the caves and hillsides of Europe.
Yes, sir.
But let's go on even further than that. Let's explain this law. Moses told the white man that he wasn't supposed to lay with a dog. Because this is the Muhammad Speaks newspaper. The messenger had a progress section that was called Back to the Cave Dweller. Bus Stop got that title too. They be talking about the cave dweller. But the messenger had this article called Back to the Cave Dweller. Because it was the messenger that started to recognize that the black man go from being clean shaven to now you start wearing beards. So the messenger started to show the black man, who the one who really grows out the beard, who the law of Moses was really for. So on this, Muhammad Speaks, the messenger has Allah made manifest the white man's cave days. You have it in the Holy Quran under the cave. So the messenger got a picture of the caveman. The caveman grew hair all over his body. He even grew hair all over his face. So the messenger showing the caveman, then he got his cave woman inside of the cave, and the dog is guarding the entrance to the cave. This the white man's history. What do you do to Allah? So the messenger taught us that the Jews and the Christians tampered with the Bible.
Yes.
So Moses' story is a prophecy of the message. Because the messenger told us originally the Bible was a book of prophecies.
Yes.
Originally. The Bible ain't no history of no Jews being in bondage to nobody. But the Bible was a book of prophecies, talking about the black man being enslaved and the resurrection and the coming of the Mahdi and the Christ.
Yes, sir.
That's what the Bible was originally. All praise is due to Allah. But the white man, the Jew, the Christian, he came to hide the truth from the black man. So the white man instead of giving us the Torah, which was one book, the Torah is not the 5 books of Moses. That ain't the Torah. Moses never saw Genesis. Moses never saw Leviticus and Exodus and Numbers. All he saw was the Torah. Yes. So the white man took the Torah and he said Moses wrote these 5 books. When in fact Moses didn't write the Torah. God revealed the Torah to Moses. It was nothing that Moses wrote himself. So the white man wrote the 5 books of Moses like a biography. They wrote it like it was somebody standing around writing about Moses. Not Moses actually writing it himself. Because Moses would not be talking about Pharaoh in the 3rd person. He would say, when I saw Pharaoh, when I saw God, he told me this and that. But it ain't written like that because the white man tampered with it. He took the laws that Moses gave them to civilize them and said Moses gave this to the children of Israel when they was in bondage. But the question is, if the children of Israel was in bondage to Pharaoh, Pharaoh didn't have beards. The Egyptians didn't wear beards. The Egyptians didn't have sex with animals. Why would God have to tell the children of Israel not to have sex with animals? When Pharaoh wasn't doing that. Pharaoh wasn't having beards. Why he got to tell the children of Israel how to grow out their beard? When the black man wasn't even wearing beards. He thought beards was unsanitary. Because the black man, this ain't for the black, it's for the white race. So the messenger, he goes on. This comes from the message to the black man, page 119 through 120. It's in the section called The Making of the Devil. The messenger says, he said, Yaqub's race of devils were exiled in the hills and caves of West Asia, now called Europe. He says they were without anything to start a civilization and became savage. They remained in such condition for 2,000 years with no guide or literature. That was the white man. Because Moses was their God. The literature that they got was the Torah. Praise to Allah. But when they was first exiled into the caves and hillsides of Europe, they had no guide or literature. Right. So they had nothing to start a civilization. This is why the white man went completely savage. Yes, sir. And the Bible says he was a beast. Not a 4-legged beast, but a 2-legged beast. Yes, sir. That's the white man. That's him. So the messenger says, he says they lost all knowledge of civilization. This was the white man. Who was exiled into the caves and hillsides of Europe. He didn't have nothing to start a civilization. He didn't have a God. He didn't have literature. And that's what he knew about civilization. He forgot all about that. He lost all knowledge of civilization. So we gonna skip the part where the messenger talk about the monkey. We ain't got time to talk about the monkey today. So the messenger goes on. He said, being deprived of divine guidance for their disobedience, the making of mischief, and causing bloodshed in the holy nation of the original black people by lies, they became so savage that they lost all their sense of shame. This the messenger breaking the white man all the way down. But you got old no good line bust stop, stealing from the messenger saying the black man is God. When the white man, in the book of Genesis, it says Adam was in the Garden of Eden. What was the Garden of Eden? Let's go back to the messenger. He said, being deprived of divine guidance for their disobedience, the making of mischief, and causing bloodshed in the holy nation.
Yes, sir.
But you saying the black man is God. You don't even know that the white man was in the holy nation. The holy nation of Islam. In what they call the Garden of Eden.
Yes, sir.
Causing mischief. Causing bloodshed. By spreading lies.
Yes, sir.
That's the white man.
That's him.
White man is a new man on our planet. The black man been on earth for trillions of years. In heaven.
Yes, sir.
What the white man called the Garden of Eden. But Yakub's crafted devil, who has a nature different than the black man, came into heaven. Heaven was the holy nation. He came into heaven causing trouble.
Yes.
The messenger said for 6 months, white man came into the holy nation causing trouble, spreading mischief, causing the black man to fight and kill one another. So what else happened? He says, being deprived of divine guidance for their disobedience, the making of mischief and causing bloodshed in the holy nation of the original black people, the original black man.
Yes.
That's who lived in the Garden of Eden.
That's right.
It was no spooks and spirits. The black man
Yes.
was living in the Garden of Eden. But the Jew tampered with the book. He told you that it was a serpent talking to Adam. It was a serpent who deceived Adam. And then Adam was cast out. So the messenger taught us, since the white man want to play tricks, he told us the characteristics of the serpent. He said the white man had poets to write the Bible.
Right.
He said, since the white man want to play tricks, this is the truth about how you understand. The serpent is not talking about a snake. He said, look at the characteristics of a serpent and see what people share them same characteristics.
Right.
Then when you talking about Israel, you got to look at the context. Because sometimes it's talking about the black man, sometimes it's talking about the white man.
That's right.
So the message told us that the Garden of Eden was where the black man was. He told us what the context. In one context, the serpent deceived Adam. That's the white man coming into heaven deceiving the black man.
That's right.
So then another context is when Adam ate the fruit. He disobeyed Allah. So in that context, it's talking about the white man.
Right.
Then another context, it says Adam was cast out. In that context, Adam is the white man.
That's right.
He was cast out of heaven and sent into the caves and hillsides of Europe for 2,000 years.
That's it, brother.
So let's go on with the message. He said they started going new as they are doing today and leading the so-called Negroes into the very act. It says they became shameless. In the winter, they wore animal skins for clothes. and grew hair all over their bodies and faces like all other wild animals. This is why the Bible calls him the beast.
Yes.
It's not talking about a four-footed beast. It's talking about the white man. The white man is a two-legged beast. He grew hair all over his body and face like all other wild animals. This the white man. So the messenger goes on. He says in those days, they made their homes in the caves on hillsides. There is a whole chapter devoted to them in the Holy Quran. They had it very hard, trying to save themselves from being destroyed by wild beasts, which were plentiful at that time in Europe. Being without a God, they started walking on their hands and feet like all animals, and learned to climb trees as well as any animals. At night, they would climb up into the trees carrying large stones and clubs to fight the wild beasts that would come prowling around at night to keep them from eating their family. The next and best weapons were the dogs. They tamed some of these dogs to live in the caves with their families, to help protect them from the wild beasts. That's the white man. So the white man had a special relationship with the dog. This why this law of Moses, quote unquote, this ain't talking to the black man. It's talking to the white race.
Yes, sir.
The black man ain't never had no special relationship with a dog. The white man says that the dog is man's best friend.
That's what you say.
A black man or woman is the black man's best friend.
Teach, brother minister.
In the Bible it says that a woman is man's helpmate.
That's right.
But the white man don't say that. He say a dog is man's best friend. So the messenger taught us in our lessons that the white man studies the black man to learn to do and how to act like the black man. The black man is the one who does not lay with animals. The black man is the one who does not lay with mankind like he do with womankind.
Right.
That's the black man.
Teach, brother.
So when you have the law of Moses, this is just teaching the white man to do and act like the black man, who is the direct descendant from God himself. So let's go on even further. Messenger says, after a time, the dog held high place among the family because of his fearlessness to attack the enemies of his master. Today, the dog is still loved by the white race and is given more justice than the so-called Negroes, and is called the white man's best friend. This comes from the cave days. So this comes from the white man and his days in the cave as an uncivilized savage. The only person that the white man could get along with was the dog. So the dog had a high place in the family. The white woman wanted a taste of the dog. She said, since this dog's so strong and fierce, I want to have the dog as my boyfriend. So the white woman was going steady. That's what they used to say in the 80s, going steady. They was going steady with Rin Tin Tin. Going steady with Fido. Telling Betty, I'm gonna marry Fido and Rin Tin Tin. He ain't only man, he the woman's best friend. The dog. So Moses had to come and tell the white man, you don't lay with a dog like you lay with your wife.
Right.
The woman, you don't lay with a dog like you lay with your husband.
Right.
Because I heard old Nasty Nate.
I should be given fellatio. BJ. I know you're young. You don't know what that word means. It's BJ. Just look at a BJ. Urban Dictionary, BJ. What is that? She used to give a BJ like nobody's business. She could suck a golf ball out of a truck's exhaust. So now she don't want to do that.
She don't want to help her husband.
Brothers, I'm going to help you out here. You know what you do? Bring it out. You get you some jelly. You put that jelly on. He said, listen, you got 10 minutes. If you don't do what you used to do, I'm going out this door. I'm telling you, I ain't got time for them. I playing games.
Old bus stop. He telling them fakes that it ain't nothing wrong with forcing your wife to commit oral assault. That's how much of a savage he is. He ain't telling these brothers it ain't nothing wrong. Not only asking you, he said forcing her to do it. Not only did he say force her to do it, he said put jelly on. That's Bus Stop Bishop. Bus Stop Bishop so savage that he don't even understand that oral sex came from the slave or the cave days.
Yes, sir.
The white woman. That's why they call it doggy style. Let's talk about it. I learned this in FOI class. I was just as savage as everybody else. I knew nothing about oral style. So the brother taught me the restrictive laws of Islam. We do not commit indecent acts on one another.
That's right.
I didn't know what an indecent act was to commit. So he told me about oral and anal sex.
That's right.
He said that's what the white man picked up in the caves and hillsides of Europe.
That's right.
The white man used to do that on the dog. That's why he called it doggy style. Everything he do that's filth and indecent, he picked up from them cave days. So Moses had to teach them. You don't lay with animals like you do with a man. Now let's go even further than that. Let's talk about one of these great documentaries that I watched from Natural Geographic. It's called Guns, Germs, and Steel. This talking about the white man. This is a very good documentary for us to watch. It says, so where does this deadly disease come from? And why was it linked to Europeans? It says, for thousands of years, the people of Eurasia lived in close proximity to the large variety of domesticated mammals in the world. They dress it up. Way more dressed up than you learn in FOI class. But they dressed it up. They made it sound cute. White man for thousands of years, he was in close proximity with domesticated animals. That ain't what the messenger said. Messenger said the white woman went steady with the dog.
Yes.
That's what they was doing. They wasn't just living in no close proximity. But this the white man, he trying to tell the truth. So we gotta give him credit for that. So he says for thousands of years. Once again, he ain't gonna say for 2,000 years. He just say for thousands of years. The people of Eurasia lived in close proximity to the largest variety of domesticated animals in the world, eating, drinking, and breathing in the germs these animals bore. They don't tell you about the bestiality part. They just say eating, drinking, and breathing in the stuff from these animals. It says over time, animal infections cross species, evolving into new strains which became deadly to man. Diseases like smallpox, influenza, and measles were in fact the daily inheritance of the Eurasia farming tradition. the product of thousands of years spent farming livestock. He trying to tell the truth. But they was mating with the dog.
That's right.
Doing oral sodomy. Anal sodomy with the dog. That's why you got all these herpes all over your mouth. Because the white woman was going steady with the dog. Telling the dog, giving him oral sodomy. Letting the dog jump up on top of her. That's the white woman. She's a beast. So it goes on to say, it says over time, the population of Europe gained increasing immunity and the devastating impact of traditional infections decreased. Yet the people of the New World had no history of prior exposure to these germs. They farmed only one mammal, the llama. And even this was geographically isolated. The llama was never kept indoors. It wasn't milked and only occasionally eaten. So the people of the New World were not troubled by cross-species viral infections. So the black man, we didn't live like the white man. You didn't have dogs and pets and animals inside your house.
Right.
Like you see Muslims even doing now. Muslims got cats. Muslims got dogs. All inside your house.
Right.
That's filth.
That's right, Brother Minister.
Black man wasn't doing that before the white man. He was the one. Even though they had farm animals, they were geographically separated. They didn't let them come in the house.
That's right.
Geographic. They wasn't breathing in what they was breathing in, like they say. They wasn't doing the same thing with their animals the white man was doing. So let's go on even further than that.
Teach, Brother Minister.
It says when the Europeans arrived, carrying germs which thrived in dense semi-urban populations, the indigenous people of the Americas were effectively doomed. They had never experienced smallpox, measles, or the flu before, and the viruses tore through the continent, killing an estimated 90% of the Native Americans. That's the white man. This is why these laws of Moses was given to them.
Yes.
Because the white man's still a beast.
Yes.
Because the white man rejected Moses. He rejected Jesus. He rejected Prophet Muhammad. So when Moses told them not to lay with the dog, they say to hell with Moses. I like my dog. Dog is man's best friend. So we gonna keep doing bestiality. We gonna keep spreading herpes. We gonna keep having our dogs in the house. That's the white man.
That's him.
So the messenger taught us. He said before the destruction of any people, God always sends a message.
Yes.
Messenger taught us that the prophets, he said they brought moonlight because he said we were in darkness. For 6,000 years, the whole world was in darkness. So he said the prophets, they couldn't teach us straight truth. So they brought moonlight. Moonlight at night ain't that much, but it's good enough. It's something just to keep you on the right path. So Moses told the white man how to groom himself. He gave him a standard of how to keep his beard. He wasn't talking to the black man. He was talking to the white race.
Yes, sir.
Read to Allah. So the messenger said, July 4th, 1930, God came. So it's the end of the moonlight. Now we got sunlight.
Yes, sir.
So the messenger told us that a beard is a germ catcher.
Yes.
It catches germs. It attracts germs. When you drinking Kool-Aid, your Kool-Aid get all in your beard. When you eat cookies, cookie crumbs fall all in your beard. When you blow your nose and you sneeze, snot get all in your beard. When you eat food, your beard get all in your food. So the messenger said, it's easier for us to clean the skin on our face than it is to clean a germ-catching beard.
That's right.
It ain't had nothing to do with manners. Well, brothers and sisters, we don't want to prolong the time. So I leave you as I came in the nation of Islam's greeting words of peace of Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Enjoying the show? Help keep us on the air. 313-371-7033. That's 313-371-7033 to make a donation.
Brothers and sisters, we rise for prayer. In the name of Allah, the beneficent and merciful, all praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the beneficent and merciful, soul master's day of judgment in which we now live. The alone that we serve and the alone seek for thine help and aid. O Allah, please guide us on the right path, path of those upon whom thou bestow thy favors, not on the path of those upon whom thy wrath is brought down, nor those who go astray after they heard thy teachings. Say he, Allah is one God. Allah is he of whom nothing is independent, but upon whom we all depend. He begetteth not, nor is he begotten, there is none like him. And I bear witness that none is ever to be served, worship, or praise besides Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. And I bear witness that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is that true servant and last apostle. Ameen. Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us not to do anything to anyone. We wouldn't have done it to ourselves and treat everybody right, even the devil. Assalamu alaikum.